It's Kathy Macri. I'm in the garden at Berwick Royal Oak, and I'm here with Deedrie Ballard from Remax Camosun. Deedrie's a really well-known real estate agent in our parts and has lived in this area for many years. And she actually has some personal connections to Berwick. So I thought it would be great to chat with you, Deedrie, and talk about what's going on in the real estate industry. It's been a crazy time.
It has really been, yeah.
We're all going to remember 2020 as the year of COVID. And I think for 2021, as COVID continues, what I'm going to remember is the hot real estate market and how crazy things have gotten. What is fueling that?
Well, you know, it is cooling down a little bit now. It's changing a bit, and it had to. But what has done that and made that the way it is because of all the lack of product in the market. There's just not enough to go on the market. So when something goes on the market that's really good, individuals or couples they'll just get right into it, and they were paying $200,000 and $300,000 more for the property than it was listed for.
And that's all due to limited supply?
That's due to lack of supply. And with COVID as well, you know, a lot of people are just upgrading to different homes. They're doing renovations. Sometimes there's couples moving in and having their brother and his wife living downstairs and just sharing properties and buying bigger properties.
Because people are realizing that they need to get in while they can.
That's right. Yeah.
But of course, there's lots of people that have an opportunity to get out of the real estate industry now as well, which is really great. And tell me how offers are being accepted now. I know it's a little different than it has been once upon a time. Well,
there's a lot of multiple offers. So, you know, what I have done is I've put a property on the market on, say, a Tuesday, and maybe have offers dealt with the following Monday. So it gives a lot of time for realtors to be able to get in and out. But, you know, what's happening is we can't double up on these showings because it's not safe, COVID-wise. So we make them half-hour intervals, or some are 15-minute intervals, depending how big the house is, and no doubling up. So we need to make sure that everybody kind of gets through before these offers are presented.
And what kind of measures are you taking to make sure that it's a safe environment, both for the homeowner and for people looking?
For myself, I have a note that I put on the front door indicating all the COVID protocol that's going to be happening. I have sanitizer there, I have gloves, I have masks. And there is a list of, you know, for instance, the realtor, I only say that only the realtor is to be touching anything, and use the wipes that I provide and wipe them off as they go. So, because there's a lot of people who are very vulnerable to COVID. So, and it's been working so far.
Yeah, so far all the stories are good.
You know, if there's a lot of showings and it's getting really hectic, I will actually go and stay there myself, and while people go in and out. Not that I'm inside, but as they come in and out, make sure that everybody's on time and not doubling up.
Yes. Okay. That sounds safe. Now, how long would a home be on the market these days? If we hear about all these multiple offers over asking, so if you list your house, how long can you expect it to actually be on the market?
It depends. If you're pricing it properly, if you're pricing it for multiple offers, you can expect it'll go in a day or so after the offers are being dealt with. Most often there aren't any conditions, and then they go over asking. However, if you decide that you want to list your price maybe over what you really think it's worth, it's going to cause, some delay in how long the house is on the market, for sure.
And do people need to do a lot of preparation before they put their house on the market these days?
Yes, and in a lot of cases we get stagers or downsizing companies like Jill Phipps, who I've used for years. And, they'll come in and they'll make it very comfortable. For instance, for a senior, it makes it very comfortable for them to understand that everything is going to be dealt with. Everything is going to be taken and dealt with somewhere else. They'll ship, they'll do everything. But it's hard sometimes to convince seniors that this is a good thing to do.
And why do you think that seniors are so reluctant to leave their homes?
Well, would you like to leave your home? And you're not even a senior, I know.
I know.
They just get so attached to it and all their things, and it is just the hardest thing in the world for them to let go. Now, in a lot of families, there are children who will help that process along. For my own parents, what I did is my mother had a fall downtown, and they were in their late 80s. Well, Dad was 88 and Mom was 85, and they lived downtown in a condo, and my mom got hit by a cyclist downtown.
Goodness.
So I said, that is it. We got to go visit some of these places and see how you might like to just change your lifestyle. And they kind of got it, and they were really open to doing it. Well, we went to many, and as we walked in the door, if anybody was standing around with walkers or anything else, and my dad was on a cane, he'd say, "This place is full of old crocs. I'm not going to ever live here." So
sounds like my dad.
Yeah. So when we went to Berwick House, Gail, and that was the one on Shelburne, Gail, who was managing that then, she set up a lunch for us. Well, we went into the lunchroom and we had lunch, and Mom and Dad were so enthralled with this place that they moved in 2 weeks later.
Wow.
And they were there basically 11 years. Well, my dad passed away, but my mom stayed on. And then my mom went down into care, and as my dad had been, so then she passed away from there.
Wow. It's nice that when people come into Berwick, they can transition into different levels of care if needed.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, well, you're a great spokesperson for Berwick. Tried, tested, and true.
Yeah, I've referred a lot of people to Berwick because they are, it is more like a home, and their activities are so well suited. My dad and Mom sang in a choir. My dad has never sang a note in his life, but
really,
anyway, they had so much fun there. It was just the best thing could ever happen at the end of their life.
I have a very rewarding job here as community relations manager, because I get to see people come in, and sometimes they are quite reluctant to be moving into a retirement residence. It's more about what they're giving up than what they're gaining. They think they're losing their independence, but you gain so much by moving into a retirement community, especially one like Berwick. Yeah. There's so much to do, and I see these wonderful friendships grow between residents, and people really thrive and flourish in this setting, and especially now during COVID.
That's right.
If people are at home alone in their house, that can't be much fun.
That is the hardest thing for me to try and convince seniors, is that you will have so much going on around you and so many people to interact with. You will never be lonely in your lifetime again. And it's unfortunate sometimes when they can't see that.
Yeah. And you don't need to be a really outgoing person.
No.
You can still be, introverted, be very private, and still have a wonderful life because you're living independently. You can come and go as you please.
Yeah.
Now, if someone is thinking about maybe selling their house, what's the best thing for them to do in this situation?
In a lot of cases, there are children that can assist, and sometimes there aren't. And so what I will suggest is that perhaps we could have somebody in and talk to them, a downsizing company, and I'll give them 2 or 3 choices, and have them in and talk to them and just see what they offer. And because that person needs to also connect with the seniors. Some of them will connect more with one person than another. And when they hear, what will be done, if you can get past that, if you can get them to do that, it is just the most rewarding thing to see them transition into a senior's residence in a retirement home.
And if someone is looking at selling their home, what steps should they take to start the process? Who should they talk to? Where do they begin?
I always suggest that they talk to 2 or 3 realtors, and again, just feel most comfortable with the one you think what you trust and that you can get along with, and that's going to do the best job for you. And I think as seniors, they do in their mind know exactly who they can connect with and who's going to be that best person. So I think that's, and hopefully, there are kids around that are assisting in this too. Not too much, but assisting.
Just enough.
Enough.
And of course, if there aren't kids, there are many downsizing companies like Jill that you mentioned,
yes,
and Happy Nest, and many other companies that will give people a helping hand, because it's a huge job.
It is a huge job. Yeah.
Yeah. And is now a good time, if you're actually going to get out of the real estate market, is it not perhaps one of the best times ever to get out?
Couldn't be better. Yeah.
So if you're thinking about selling your house, now's the time.
Yeah, it really is, because you're going to get the best bang for your buck, and people don't care if it needs renovating or just what it needs. They've been buying everything. Yeah.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for spending some time with us. I'm
My
here
pleasure.
in the gardens at Berwick Royal Oak with Deedrie Ballard from RE/MAX Camosun.